The story of the 1970 Roosevelt dime begins with the legacy of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose leadership during the Great Depression and World War II made him one of the most influential figures in American history. After his passing in 1945, the United States Mint sought an appropriate way to honor his contributions and chose to redesign the 10-cent coin, replacing the mercury dime that had been in circulation since 1916. The new design, created by chief engraver John R. Sinek, featured a portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse symbolizing strength, leadership, and the nation's gratitude, and on the reverse, the torch flanked by an olive branch and oak branch representing liberty, peace, and strength. As the years passed, the Roosevelt dime became a stable part of American coinage, and by 1970, the coin had already completed 24 years of continuous production. The 1970 dime came at a time when the United States Mint was experimenting with new production methods and responding to the ongoing changes in the economy, including increasing coin demand and the aftermath of the 1965 Coinage Act, which replaced silver coins with clad copper-nickel versions. The 1970 dime followed the clad composition introduced in 1965, consisting of a pure copper core with outer layers of copper-nickel, providing durability and a silvery appearance while being cost-efficient for national coin production. The production of the Roosevelt dime in 1970 occurred at two major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Although the Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, as was typical for the time, collector interest in the 1970 dime is often tied to the background of minting practices during the late 1960s and early 1970s, a period marked by increased coin collecting enthusiasm that had reached a peak in earlier years, but continued to influence the market as hobbyists searched for varieties, errors, and unique pieces from modern mint runs. The 1970 dimes were produced in large numbers, making most regular circulation strikes common, but certain features such as strike quality, die fatigue, and mint made errors contribute to the appeal for collectors today. During this era, the Mint continued refining its equipment and production processes as high-speed machinery became the standard for mass coinage. The dies used to strike the 1970 dimes went through heavy workloads, sometimes leading to minor imperfections, such as die cracks off center strikes and weak strikes, which can be found on surviving examples. These small variations spark collector interest because they offer a glimpse into the working conditions and technical adjustments of the Mint. At the time, error coins from the 1970 production period, such as broad strikes, clipped planchets, or double die obverse or reverse pieces if discovered, can command notable premiums in the market, especially when preserved in high grades. The design of the Roosevelt dime had remained unchanged since its introduction, and by 1970, the coin was seen as an iconic part of the nation's circulating currency. The obverse still featured the familiar left-facing portrait of Roosevelt with the inscription, "Liberty," placed prominently along the rim, and "In God We Trust" positioned below his chin. The mint date 1970 appeared in its usual location near the bottom, while the reverse continued to showcase the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, along with the inscriptions. United States of America, a pluribus unum, and one dime. This consistent design helped anchor the dime's identity during a time when other denominations were undergoing or soon would undergo redesigns and commemorative issues. The historical context of the early 1970s also shaped the meaning of the Roosevelt dime. The United States was transitioning socially, politically, and economically. The ending years of the Vietnam War inflation concerns and shifting national priorities marked the period, yet the dime remained a simple, everyday object that connected generations. As Americans carried and used these coins in daily commerce, the Roosevelt dime served as a small reminder of the nation's past leadership and enduring values. The coin's practicality made it essential in vending machines, payphones, and everyday transactions, making the 1970 issue a significant part of millions of lives. For collectors today, The 1970 Roosevelt Dime carries importance not because it is rare, but because it represents the steady production of U.S. coinage during a transitional era. Numismatists often examine these coins for high-grade examples graded by professional services such as PCGS and NGC, where coins in mint, state 67 or 68, can be considered exceptional due to the challenges of achieving perfect surfaces on mass-produced clad coinage. The clad layers easily pick up scratches and scuffs, so finding a pristine, untouched example from 1970 can be surprisingly difficult, which adds value and desirability for serious collectors. The 1970 dime also holds interest for those who study minting history. The period saw experiments and refinements in striking pressure, die alignment, and plancher preparation, which means coins from this year sometimes display stronger than average details or unusually sharp edges. The mint was becoming more advanced in quality control, yet millions of coins still left the facilities with minor imperfections, revealing the gradual evolution of American coinage technology. Collectors who enjoy exploring the technical side of minting find the 1970 dime an excellent case study in understanding how modern clad coins matured over the decade. Beyond the physical coin, the story of the 1970 Roosevelt dime is also a story about the legacy of Roosevelt himself. Born in 1882, he rose from a privileged background to become a champion of the common person, leading the nation through some of its darkest times. His New Deal programs transformed the economic landscape, providing relief, recovery, and reform. His leadership during World War II united the country at a time of global uncertainty. The decision to place his image on the dime was not only a tribute to his presidency, but specifically to honor his connection to the March of Dimes, a fundraising campaign dedicated to fighting polio, a disease Roosevelt himself battled throughout his life. This personal connection has forever tied the dime to themes of resilience, hope, and national unity. As the video progresses, viewers can explore how the Roosevelt dime maintained its place in everyday commerce during 1970, a time when cash transactions were the backbone of the American economy. Electronic payments, credit cards, and digital devices had not yet transformed spending habits, so coins like the dime were essential in countless daily moments, whether buying a newspaper, paying for parking, or using a vending machine. The dime played a vital role in the rhythm of American life. The 1970 dime is therefore more than just a collectible. It is a snapshot of a time when the smallest denominations mattered deeply in daily routines. Towards the end of the story, we can reflect on the continuing relevance of the Roosevelt dime. The design, introduced in 1946, remains in use today with only minor adjustments over the decades. The 1970 issue stands as one link in a long chain of production representing stability, consistency, and the enduring recognition of Roosevelt's contributions to the nation. For collectors, historians, and casual enthusiasts, the 1970 dime offers insight into minting change's economic history and the quiet but powerful role of coinage in society. Its large mintage ensures that examples are readily available, but the historical narrative behind it gives the coin depth that goes beyond its 10-cent face value.